Paul Marsh here, and I'm delighted to say that I've been joined by Willy Vlautin from the Delines. Sir, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So you're down coming to Portsmouth. You're in the UK in general, but you're coming down to Portsmouth on Saturday, the 15th of June. You're coming to the Wedgwood Rooms. However, you have been coming over to the UK since 2004.
Yeah, we got lucky in 2004. I was in a band called Richmond Fontaine, and a magazine called Uncut kind of championed one of our records, and then we were lucky enough to get over then. So yeah, we've been touring in Richmond Fontaine and now the Delines for 20 years.
So the question is do you love the UK as much as the UK clearly loves you?
I mean, it's hard not to love it. We always have a great time. The worst part of being in a band is you see every beautiful place for an hour.
Yeah.
You get like an hour to yourself a day where you're not driving around or loading gear. And so, but yeah, it's gorgeous, and we're really excited to come in the summer too.
Now, I have to ask you about the food because it's kind of notorious that Americans don't really like British food. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I think everywhere's getting good. I mean, America has any small town in America, you have horrible food. Uh, so I think everybody in the world's food's kind of improving. Maybe from watching so many cooking shows, but I don't know. I've always had great food in the UK, and I'm my band, we're the king of the Sunday roast.
Oh,
So, and you can't beat a Sunday roast. So you guys got that, and that's my favorite thing in the world. So, no, I love it. And
as,
and we're all Yorkshire tea guys in the
oh.
band. Yeah. So
So we have fully adopted you then. You fully embraced coming to the UK.
Oh yeah, and you can't beat Yorkshire. I mean, you can get in arguments with people about which tea, but yeah, the whole is a tea band now.
Yeah, I think religion, iPhone or Android, and tea is probably the three things you can guarantee an argument.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So it is your first ever show in Portsmouth. Have you heard anything about Portsmouth? Do you know anything about the crowds or anything else like that?
Not about the crowds. I mean, you just hope people will come out for us. No, we're excited for it, and you're right. We've never been there, but I don't know. I hope it's all right. I hope we do okay.
Well, what I will say to you is that the crowds in Portsmouth are well known for being very, very enthusiastic. Um, if we like you, if we love you, we will fully support you, and they will turn out for you. If you can crush this gig in Portsmouth, the fans of Portsmouth will be here for you forever.
Jeez. Well, I hope we do. If we don't, how are you guys don't like us? If
They
I
like I
mean,
say,
how rough?
they're enthusiastic, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh, that's okay. I'm really excited.
So for somebody that's never heard of the Delines, how would you describe your sound?
Well, we're kind of a kind of country ballad soul band. We do a lot of ballads. Our singer, Amy Boone, I think's amazing. She tells these really cool stories in the songs, and she's just got one of those voices that just stops you in your tracks. It stopped me in my tracks, and then we have every night she does. And then we have a really cool keyboard trumpet player named Corey Gray, who's amazing. And then Freddie and Sean's the rhythm section. So yeah, it's just kind of big ballads, big romantic ballads. Yeah.
I would say it's quite old school, is my take on it.
Yeah, yeah. I figured I agree. I agree. It's really influenced by like the 60s and 70s
Yeah.
kind of 60s soul and that kind of merging of like country folk storytelling and kind of soul music. Yeah.
Your album, Colfax, which was your debut album, really did send out waves into the music world. Was it a pleasant surprise that it was so well received?
Oh yeah. Amy had done a tour with my last band, Richmond Fontaine is our keyboard player. And I'd heard her warming up by herself when she wasn't thinking anyone was listening. I would kind of listen to her practice, and I loved the way she sang ballads. And so I went home and secretly, wrote her songs for a year, and then wrote her a little essay on why she should join up. And then she came up to Portland, where she was at Austin, Texas, and she flew up to Portland, and we recorded that record with a couple practices, and over the course of a couple weeks, we recorded that record, not sure what to make of it. And then so the people loved it. Was amazing. It's just luck. It's just luck. And but it got us the ability to be a band, a real band. And now she lives in Portland, and we just finished our fourth real record, and it'll come out next year. So it's luck when you get an opportunity to keep going, and you do a project that people look it's pretty lucky.
Now, talking about the reviews of your first album, the reviews for your last album, Seadrift, were absolutely amazing as well. You must be very, very proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's that kind of thing when something good happens to your band, you're just relieved more than anything, because it makes your life easier if people like the record. It's a lot easier to tour it, and we're a mom and pop operation. We're a small time operation, and so when you get good reviews, it really does help the record and helps the band. So yeah, it's like dodging bullets. Every time you get a good review, you're like, oh, woo, thank God they like this one.
Is it when you are recording an album? Because basically, when you record an album, you put your heart and soul into something. Whether it's 2 months, 6 months, a year, however long it takes you to record that album, you put your heart and soul into it, and then you put this product out there into the world. And that must be a very difficult period, as to wondering whether it's going to be well received or not well received. Because if it's not well received, do we ever get to make another album? So it must be quite a difficult period.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing you worry about most initially is that you have to love it. So the band has to love the record. So that's where you kind of start. That's the only control you have. So when you're making a record, or I write novels as well, you have to be in love with it. And if you're in love with it, then there's a good chance you're not so crazy that other people will probably love it too. Whether you get lucky with it, with reviews, or maybe it just gets ignored. There's so many bands out there. So when it gets reviewed at all, that's lucky. And then you hope it's somebody that understands the band, that will give the band a fair shake. But all that's just luck of the draw. That's like playing bingo. You never know if your number is going to come up good or bad. So yeah, that's the worst part of it, is wondering if people like it. You do put your heart and soul into it. We always try really hard on our records. So you really, man, you sweat bullets a little bit. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
I can imagine. Now, we spoke earlier about your sound. Currently, it would be described as Americana, which is basically country in old money, but new country is more rock and pop. What are your thoughts on the way country and Americana is changing?
I mean, there's so many bands. It's hard to understand or lump anybody into a genre. I mean, you're right. But I wouldn't consider us a country band at all.
No.
We're in the roots tradition of storytelling. I think would probably be the most accurate. And we're pretty jazzy with Corey's influence. He's such a great keyboard player and trumpet player. In general, America is such a broad net. There's so many variations of it, from cowpunk to pop country, and you listen to American Nashville country, and you struggle to understand the country part of it.
Yeah.
But then I'm an old school kind of purist that way, so it's really hard to lump a band into any kind of category, because I think really everybody's just kind of doing their own thing in their own way. But I understand you have to put it under some kind of category. So it is a broad thing, from like I said, from punk rock guys playing country to Britney Spears influenced country people to everything in between.
I think every now and again, there's a band that kind of breaks that mold of doing something old but doing it new. I think Midland are a band around at the moment that obviously they are a new band, but their sound I think is quite old and quite classic, isn't it?
Yeah, that's well said. Yeah, and it's amazing. Every city you go to, every country, there's just hundreds and hundreds of really cool bands everywhere. So there's that's the beauty, of modern music is you can discover so many different kinds of bands, and there's so many different variations of bands on in all kinds of styles with all kinds of viewpoints.
Yeah.
And that's pretty lucky to get to hear all that.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you've been in the studio recording again. When are we going to hear some of this new music? Do we think that maybe towards the end of the year, next year? And the question is are we going to hear any of it on this tour?
Yeah, we're just starting to road test new songs now. The record's going to come out in January. It's called Mr. Luck and Miss Doom, and it'll be out early next year. So yeah, we're really excited that we finally kind of put the finishing touches on it and let it go. But yeah, all the Delines records take forever. Maybe we tinker on them too much, or maybe we worry about them too much. And as you get older, everybody's schedules get busier, so it's hard to get everybody together. But yeah, they're always kind of difficult births, that's for sure. But I know we're all excited about this one. I know we're all in love with it. So hopefully, like I said earlier, hopefully other people will be too.
Well, so far so good. I think your track record has been pretty good. So if you want to take your time with this one, you guys take your time. Willie,
Uh,
look, it's been absolutely brilliant talking to you. Thank you very much for talking to me. I'm sure your show at the Wedgwood Rooms on the 15th of June is going to be absolutely amazing, and I wish you nothing but luck.
oh, thanks. And thanks for having me and helping the show. And I hope I see you on the night of it.